And now for the day's news. Our top story today comes straight from the tough and tumble neighborhood of Kingsbury Run. There, the police continue their exhaustive manhunt for the torso killer. As his head count hits 7, the citizens of Cleveland raise their voices in protest. Meanwhile, the city police have been baffled by this insidious madman's terrible work. The latest victim, discovered by 2 children playing along the banks of the Cuyahoga River, remains unidentified. Meanwhile, in news from around the world, our boys at sea captured an Axis ship in equatorial waters. The Axis vessel unsuccessfully attempted a nefarious ploy to bluff its way through the British blockade. Our sources indicate the Axis boat falsely flaunted our very own stars and stripes and had an American name painted on her pilot house and stern in an attempt to pass itself off as one of our own. Our American cruiser's good commander was too smart to fall for such a trick, however, and he immediately ordered the ship to heave to. Despite a last-ditch effort by the Axis merchantmen to blow up their own ship, their vessel was captured without incident. In other global news, snow and near-zero weather in Russia halted Nazi troops dead in their tracks. More bad news for the Axis as the British began an offensive in North Africa along the 130-mile Libya line. Score 1 for Hitler, though. Wire reports confirmed that the Australian cruiser Sydney was sunk by a German raider disguised as a Dutch merchant ship. I guess our mates down under could use a few lessons from our own boys at sea. In Washington today, Subaru Kurusu, Japan's new and super special envoy to the United States, is set to begin a round of talks with the State Department. These talks come right on the heels of Tojo's stinging remarks regarding Roosevelt's Pacific policy. With the Pacific crisis nearing its breaking point, officials in Washington hope that Kurusu, Japan's pinch hitter on the diplomatic diamond, can head off a military confrontation. Also in Washington, a recent survey of 59 Midwestern editors and publishers for the interventionist Continental Congress for Freedom displayed surprising opinions. The newspaper head honchos reported that their communities were now overwhelmingly in favor of the administration's foreign policy and a repeal of the Neutrality Act. Said one editor, "The so-called isolationist Midwest exists only in the minds of congressmen who have failed to keep abreast of a great surge of public opinion during recent months." In other national news, hopes ran high that John L. Lewis will call an end to the coal mine strike after 12 striking miners were shot during riots. New York has a new hero in Jerry the Super Dog. The lovable collie's barking awoke 16 families residing in apartments above an Upper East Side store. Our dog hero nearly gave his own life, however. After seeing everyone to safety, Jerry left the burning building and collapsed. Thanks to the efforts of a local doctor, Jerry was revived. Give that dog a biscuit. In local news, prominent Dayton entrepreneur Eiler G. Sundorf was killed in a plane crash. Meanwhile, here in our own beloved city, an estimated crowd of 6,000 gathered for the Freedom Day rally at Public Hall. The cheering crowd of freedom-conscious Clevelanders condemned Nazi hostage slayings and called for an end to defense strikes. Today's weather, one word, friends: brrr. And finally, in sports today, the Barons extend their winning streak to 7 games by defeating the Washington Lions 3-0 in an American Hockey League game. And unconfirmed reports from Indians management indicate that they are about to sign a 24-year-old Indian shortstop, Smiling Lou Boudreau, to a 2-year contract to manage our hometown boys. If such a deal goes through, this would make Boudreau the youngest man to ever manage a big league club. We now return you to the magical melodies of Mel Fritz